I'm Tone Loc for Downward Thrust, and this is my review for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The footage you're about to see has been captured on PC at 1440p using this machine here. This review contains no spoilers for the game, and I'll be showing mostly combat, non-vital cutscenes, and side quest footage from the first maybe 10 to 15 hours of the game to ensure that. So with that said, let's get on with the review. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an action or stealth RPG set in the historical world of Greece. It's easily up there alongside Origins as the best looking Assassin's Creed game to date. Odyssey will take you on a long adventure through the many isles, nations, and territories within Greece, each with their own unique tile sets, identity, and art style. Athens is vibrant, the oceans are blue and lush, there's snowy mountains, tombs, underwater ruins, wide grasslands, autumn forests, and all manner of architecture accurate of the times. You step into the shoes of one of two playable characters, Alexios or Cassandra. For this review, I primarily played as Alexios. The year is 431 BC, and war is raging between Athenians and Spartans. You are the descendant of King Leonidas, one of the legendary 300 Spartans that took their last breaths against the Persian army at the Battle of Thermopylae, 400 years prior to the events that took place in Assassin's Creed Origins. You take the role of a mercenary during a fictional story of the Peloponnesian War, a hired sword, if you will. You do get the modern story as well here throughout your time in Greece, allowing you a respite from the politics, the war, and your endless quest to level up that experience bar.
Thanks for watching our backs, Kiyoshi. I'll leave you to your work.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a massive game, encompassing various subplots intertwined around the modern-day plot. First is the hero's quest to find his family and seek revenge upon the unseen enemies lying in his or her way. Next is the troubling and growing war between the city-states of Sparta and Athens, which you will be asked to help on both sides. Blood is often spilled in buckets, and battle rages across the lands, heeding no border. While the smartest political minds conjure up schemes to get rich or grow in power at the expense of others. It's a nasty, bloody world out there. And the last main part of the game involves a cult that seeks to carve out its own order in the quiet and dark confines of poisonous secrecy. Although there's a lot more to it than that, those are pretty much the three pillars that hold up most of the game. Overall, the story is fantastic, showing that Assassin's Creed can be taken far beyond what people expect from this once stealth action game. There are plot twists aplenty inside the spiderweb of political stories weaving around the people, the government, and its leaders, all culminating in some truly unexpected moments. And at the helm of this storytelling is the most important change for Odyssey, player dialogue choice, and I cannot understate how vital this is.
Maybe you could ask him for me.
I'll try to put in a good word for you.
Finally.
Unlike many games that toy with the illusion of choice, Odyssey actually delivers, offering the player a handful of incredibly important choices to make that not only have profound impacts on the story, but also immediate impacts on playability. The beauty of the system is that it's blended and natural into the dialogue, and you might not even realize you're making these important decisions until the consequences unfold before your eyes. Most conversations, and I mean most, are dripping in ambiguity and without any indicator that says, hey, this is a major choice, which is a first for the series. Thus, you'll play out the hero's story, making choices, living with what you did, and watching the world play out in your own way. Combine that with the ability to play as the alternate character once you finish the game, and you'll find yourself with a game that does beg to be replayed. What I appreciate about this dialogue system and choice is that it never got in the way though. Unlike many other games where you feel like you're reading a goddamn book every time you talk to someone, optional dialogue in this game is 1 or 2 lines at best. Keeping it brief and to the point made it easy for me to want to explore all the conversation the game has. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has also made a huge effort to improve the cinematography from the last game, which was a huge problem for me. Each quest, main or otherwise now, has fully directed cameras, unlike the drab and very unattractive cutscenes from Assassin's Creed Origins. So conversations now feel like they're kind of like The Witcher 3, as the camera cuts, pans, and zooms its way around the frame. This is one of the biggest things that drew me into this game, and an important element that aids in making this more of a role-playing game. And boy oh boy, that's what this game is. Assassin's Creed Odyssey tries very hard to shed the stealth action skin that stereotyped this franchise for such a long time. Everything in this game screams role-playing, from the new cinematic cutscenes, the dialogue system, the presentation, the quest structure, skill acquisition, and combat. You begin the game in a small yet beautiful area of Greece, where you'll be introduced to the basic mechanics of the game and some crucial backstory. It's here that you'll find the tried and true open world template. You'll be handed a series of quests to complete, hopping from the main mission to any available side missions you can pick up until you reach the next area of the game.
If the spear is in the caves, I'll find it.
Unfortunately, this is a period of about 3 to 4 hours, and it started off way too slow for me and definitely overstayed its welcome. Thankfully though, it picks up. As you continue beyond this point though, the game does open up and allows you to do things the way you want to. You'll meet a bunch of new faces, including a sea pirate that allows you to captain his ship and crew, and this is where you're going to get your ship. You're given full access to the ship during this time, and you can sail wherever you want. The oceans are littered with shipwrecks to plunder and sails to bring down. The ship combat is roughly the same as it has been in the prior games, allowing you to fire arrows and throw javelins, ram and board ships, and sink them to the bottom of the sea. You'll also gain an ability to recruit new crew and assign lieutenants, which give you various bonuses to your ship. Not only that, but you can also upgrade your weapons, row speed, stamina, defenses, and appearance in the options menu. Overall, love the ship combat, have always loved the ship combat. And combat on land is equally fun and follows the same RPG-ish style of Assassin's Creed Origins. You've got 3 different types of skills for melee combat, ranged combat, and stealth. You can chain combos with light and heavy attacks. You can roll, parry, and use special abilities as well. These are abilities that you learn from the skill trees in the menu, and you can assign them to one of 2 ability wheels that hold 4 abilities each, although you'll eventually get a mirror belt that gives access to 4 additional slots on top. I found the skill system very satisfying, not only because a lot of the skills are just super cool and fun to use, like the lightning stun or the volley ability, but because of how distribution works in the trees. Unlike minigames that lock off the higher tiers of a tree unless you've spent X points thus far, Odyssey allows you to unlock any skill on any tree so long as you meet the minimum level required. Some skills in the same tree are extensions of prior abilities like extra damage or status effects being applied to them. This does lead to specialized abilities in individual trees, but you can branch out any way you want. This is an extremely good way to design a tree that does not punish you for experimentation, but if you do make a mistake, you can pay a fee to reset your skills. So it's a win-win for everybody. And because you have access to any tree skill, you'll often have tons of stuff to play with, creating a really dynamic combat system where you'll be flipping between multiple options depending on what's coming at you. As with any RPG, your level will determine your power, which does require some persistence on part of the player because, well, this is an open world game. Each zone in Odyssey has a level range, and it's here that you'll quickly find out if you like this game or not. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has a very rigid leveling curve, and being underleveled by even 1 level can make a huge difference and make the game more of a hassle than it needs to be. You do not want to be underleveled in this game. You take way more damage, and you deal way less damage to enemies. Like I said, even if they're just 1 level above you. As such, you're better off completing every side quest you can possibly find, so you do not get underleveled. Although some of the side content is the usual find this item or kill this bad guy, most of it though is pretty well done and easy to put up with given the new cinematography I previously mentioned. With that said though, it is kind of a bummer if you just wanted to complete the main quest line of the game because you really cannot do that here without doing a ton of side content. But in the end, if you persist, if you do all the side content, if you keep playing and you keep playing, you'll feel like an absolute, true Spartan badass by the time you get to the end game in this one. Let's talk about some of the new ideas thrown into the mix during this journey, including a bounty system, a mercenary system, and a cult system.
You should have turned down this bounty, Talos.
The bounty system throws increasing numbers of named enemies at you if you cause a lot of chaos, yet you can pay off that bounty or get off the grid to just make it go away. I did not like this system whatsoever, because I felt like I was constantly being bombarded by bounty hunters, given I primarily chose head-on combat over stealth. The hassle was real. The mercenary system though is pretty cool. Basically, mercenaries are named enemies that you can hunt down for loot and experience, and there's an entire sub-menu dedicated to the latter. And the cult system is pretty awesome too. Basically, there's a huge grid of these guys to assassinate from clues you discover in the world, which give you artifacts, should you kill them, that you can upgrade your legendary weapons from by visiting the forge. But all these systems, whether you like them or not, are completely optional. Overall, I loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey, guys, but you should be warned that it's incredibly similar to the last AC game, Origins. Everything from the font to the presentation, the pacing, the quest structure, the combat, the inventory system, the RPG elements, it's all pretty much the same, just with a few new additions peppered on top. If you did not like Assassin's Creed, do not buy this game. But if you did like it, you should definitely pick up Odyssey. It's basically the same game with some new features, a more flexible combat system and skill tree system, and a much better presented story with way better cinematography. The characters you'll meet are fantastic. The voice acting is actually really good, although when it's bad, it's really bad. And the lip syncing is still horrible. But beyond that, the story, the combat, the RPG elements, it's all very engaging. And plus, the game looks fan-fucking-tastic. From the sunsets, to the water, to the blues and greens of ancient Greece, this is the best looking Assassin's Creed game yet. Oh my god, look at these waves. Oh my gosh. But we do have to talk about that in-game store. Yes, you can buy 4 money items, boosters and bonuses in that dreaded in-game single-player store. For the most part, I think the game is fairly well paced, and these are not needed whatsoever, but there were a few points during the game where I was like, wait a second, I'm way too underleveled for the next main quest, even though I had done a decent amount of side content.
I've got the pearls and the shiny stones. I should return to the little girl.
Were those choke point moments my fault, or were they deliberately designed by the game makers to kind of get us to, visit that in-game store? Probably not. I think it's well paced, the game overall, but it's something to consider when we talk about how a game is designed as a single player game with an in-game store. So yeah, the verdict is Odyssey is a fantastic game for fans of this new Assassin's Creed style. It's got a great theme, it looks amazing, it's long and rewarding, and the combat and RPG elements have gotten even better from Origins. If you're a fan, I would definitely recommend this game at full asking price. It's not a perfect game. The lip syncing is awful. There's some grinding to be done, and there are a few bugs here and there, but the game itself is really high quality. So thanks for watching my Assassin's Creed Odyssey review, guys. I don't ever review games. I just don't do it. So I hope you guys liked it. Maybe you guys can let me know how I did in the comment section down below. And have yourself a great day, guys. Take care.